What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. We want to start with the good, the bad, or the ugly.
The good.
I would say the good is signing Justin Reid, chief safety, Louisiana native, brother of Eric Reid, 7-year starter. All 7 years he's been in the NFL. A man who's won championships with Kansas City. He's 28 years old in his physical prime there, and it's a solid value deal. 3 years, $31.5 million, $22.5 guaranteed. You lose Will Harris in free agency. You reworked Tyron's contract yesterday. And again, shout out to Tyron. We'll get into his contract in a bit. The man continues to put it on for the hometown. You know, the return of the prodigal son forced to go find his fortune elsewhere. Now that he's back, he continues to be all in. Tyron does. And now you pair him with another native son of Louisiana. I love the idea of this all Louisiana safety group, you know, this pairing, this tag team taking the field for your New Orleans Saints. Also, I think their skill sets match up nicely. Tyron can be more of that kind of deep guy, bit of a playmaker, and Reid maybe a bit more around the box. He's an excellent run stopper. You look at where the Saints need help. The run defense was god-awful last year. He would look like he would be a key addition in that regard. So I really like the Justin Reid move.
Yeah, certainly, considering what we thought they had available, right? And so you get a player that has proven himself multiple organizations in the NFL, like you said, coming back home and really does play well off Tyron. So now you have a defensive backfield that's going to have Alontae Taylor, it's going to have Justin Reid, Tyrann Mathieu, and Kool-Aid McKinstry. And so, like, you hope that Kool-Aid, because I mean, you were bullish on him a year ago.
Yeah.
Right. You move up to select him. You hope he takes that next step because, you know, Paulson Adebo's now in New York. So he's going to have to step up. He's going to have to be the guy. And then you now have a third safety in a Jordan Howden that can – because he's had flashes, man. There's been good for him. There's been a lot of bad too. Like, it's feast or famine, it feels like, for him. But now, like, he can be a rotational piece. He can kind of be in the background and – you know, not a bad, solid choice if you need him to play, so it opens up kind of some depth there as well. If you find the right nickel, that's pretty solid defensive backfield with who they have, young and old. You know, kind of a great mixture of everything.
And it is interesting. You seem to be, Kellen Moore does at least this point, and maybe because in the draft he'll start to supplement the offense some more, but he seems to be trying to help out Brandon Staley a bit, right? You bring in Godshaw, you bring back Chase Young, which, as we said, maybe a bit of an overpay, but the context is the context. You don't really have a way around it. I think you're still better with Chase Young on the team than you are with him off. Now, if we want to get into, that was the good. If we want to get into the bad and the ugly, it's the Jawan Johnson deal. Jawan Johnson, 500-yard tight end, 50 catches, 3 tuds last season. A lot of that coming at the end of the year when really he was the only guy left on the field. So those numbers may even be a bit deceiving in that way. Jawan Johnson signs a 3-year, $30 million deal. It can get all the way up to $34.5 million with the Simmons 21.25 guaranteed.
Yeah.
11th highest paid tight end in the league. And I just don't know. Now, again, this does kind of reinforce the idea that we've been seeing all around the NFL. Free agency is weak. Teams are having to overpay to keep their guys because of that. But, man, I do not know what he has done up to this point to earn this contract. Like, they're paying for potential here. They're not paying for any production that's been done up to this point.
That contract, when I saw it, and I'm not trying to be funny here, I was like, oh, that was supposed to be 20.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to be 30.
Yeah.
And I say that not to say that he can't be really good in the passing game. Like, you laid out the stats. That's fine. That's fine stats. But he's a one-trick pony.
Yeah. Doesn't block well.
Last year, pass blocking, which as a tight end in the NFL, even if you're Travis Kelce, Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez, you got to be able to pass protect. I mean, you're going to be in line. No matter if you're an F or a Y, you're still going to, at times, be in line. He graded out at 20%.
Gross.
In the run game, he graded out at 51.4%.
Disgusting.
Plays tight end. Again, he's an F. He's not a Y. Foster Moreau is more of a Y. But you got to be able to give me something. And so does his receiving skills outweigh all what I just talked about? I don't think so. I think he's a good receiving tight end. I don't think he's a great one.
Let me ask you this. With your knowledge of NFL org structure, do you think this is Kellen Moore saying, look, I think I can get more out of this guy. I want to keep him here? Or is this Mickey saying we're keeping him here? You would hope it's like, if it's Kellen Moore, my point of that is if it's Kellen Moore, you're at least like, okay, whatever. Let the new coach do what he wants to do and let him go prove it. But if it's Mickey, I mean, there's just no trust left in him at this point.
Okay, so you asked that. Okay, well, they played the Eagles last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
His offensive grade for that game overall was a 29.6. He had a 50 receiving grade, a 12 pass blocking grade, and a 33 run blocking grade.
So it wasn't that game that would have convinced Kellen, certainly.
So and he played 28 plays. I don't know that it would have been that game. It's not to say that he hasn't watched tape or he doesn't have a belief, but I mean, Dallas Goedert was somebody that was pivotal in the Eagles' offense. So they needed, tight end's important to them. I mean, ever going back to when he was with the Chargers, who do you have in Dallas, Tay-Tay? Like, who was the tight end that?
It was Dalton Schultz.
Okay, yeah, and he had some big time. So you have to have a tight end in this Kellen Moore offense for sure. Now you just have to try to figure out, was it the front office that said, no, we got the guy? Or is it Kellen Moore's like, no, I think I can get what I've gotten out of these other tight ends from him?
I hope it was more.
Because it wasn't the Eagles game last year for sure.
Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.